Good evening, everyone. I'm Maria Celestina Fernandes, a UDA Summer Intern at Maritime Research Center, currently pursuing an undergraduate degree in English from St. Stephen's College. Today, I'll be presenting on utilizing the underwater domain awareness framework in community building. This is all my presentation will include, and I'd like to take you all through each section directly. There's this fact I've heard quite often that humans know more about Mars than the ocean floor, and it is a sad reality. Prior to this internship, I was probably in the same boat, thinking the ocean is sublime, beautiful, and dangerous at the same time. But now that I've begun to think about the Earth's vast blue expanse in a strategic manner and the many roles and resources it has in influencing life, politics, security, economics, and can decidedly claim that the ocean is no longer just sublime in my understanding. One of the things that jump-started this change in perspective is the Underwater Domain Awareness document developed, proposed, and promoted by the Maritime Research Center. What is the UDA? To surmise, it is a comprehensive document that encourages multi-stakeholder collaboration across government, academia, industry, and coastal communities, skillfully combining innovative technological solutions and their strategic implementation, while keeping sustainability in mind. With a key focus in the Indian Ocean region, it addresses gaps in technology, policy, and human resource development, especially in tropical waters where conventional systems underperform. To look at the four pillars and to familiarize the framework, the first being blue economy, wherein sustainable use of resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, and the preservation of ocean ecosystem health is prioritized. Next, strategic security encompasses a nation's or an organization's ability to proactively identify, assess, mitigate threats in the underwater environment to safeguard its interests. As you can see in the diagram, the third pillar being sustainability and climate change that involves the management of underwater resources and activities to ensure their long-term availability, ecological health, while climate change encompasses the impacts of a warming planet on the underwater environment, such as sea level rise, ocean acidification, and changes in the marine ecosystem. Last is digital transformation that involves integration of advanced digital technologies to enhance understanding and management of underwater environments. For immediate and effective community building, we need to look at the frontiers of ocean governance that are our coastal regions. Coastal populations are frontier stakeholders in underwater activities. Not only do they provide ground level insights, but also hold on to traditional knowledge and local practices that could benefit from modified methods being encouraged. To look at the benefits of community building, first and foremost, to keep in mind is that you curate your audience by sharing your knowledge and providing a space for discussions and thought that lead to action. Community building opens up avenues into trade by roping in industries that deal with ocean resources and related products on the regular. The second avenue being through students and into institutions to impact generations that will carry this framework forward in the future. It would find space in government policies to safeguard and enhance governance on land and underwater by working on the gaps that occur, modifying traditional knowledge to better develop a more nuanced approach in countering difficulties that rise up. To talk about the community building methods that MRC as a platform endorses in the regular, by holding webinars and seminars like the Indo-Japan webinar that was held on the World Oceans Day and featured key research ideas discussed by scholars from both nations. More about this is available on the MRC website under UDA Dialogue section. The second is paper presentations and research done by researchers, interns, staff at MRC, and domain experts who contribute to the UDA Knowledge Center and the UDA Digest, respectively. Third is the workshops, like the Forestry and Capacity Building Workshop, which was a 3-day event that was also endorsed by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Fourth being public meetings with key figures like the one with Ms. Navanita Chakrabarti, Joint Secretary of the Indo-Pacific and the ASEAN, as you can see in the picture towards the right. Fifth being field visits to discuss the 100 Coastal Warriors Initiative, a flagship initiative wherein field visits were conducted to the coastal regions of Ratnagiri and Guhagar in Maharashtra and Verawal and Gujarat 2024 and 2025 respectively. These visits aimed at engaging with local stakeholders, assessing ground realities, and aligning MRC's technological innovations, particularly the Area Production Yield (APY) tool, in empowering grassroots leaders across India's coastlines through skill development, sustainable livelihoods, and marine ecosystem stewardship. Regional and community stakeholders included seaweed farmers, self-help groups, fisher folk, NGOs like Parivartan Foundation, state government bodies such as Mavim, and private partners including Climac, as you can see in the pictures. These interactions revealed rich community knowledge but also uncovered systemic gaps in administrative support, technical training, access to infrastructure, and integration between civil society and government programs. The suggested implementations that I have listed that could be useful to build upon the primary initiatives discussed include partnerships that the platform of NDT or Nirdhwani technology brings in. It would help in getting like-minded people on board, and this initiative would involve government bodies, national and international domains, actively conducting joint events with them, which will warrant recognition and visibility. Second, being external publications. That would help in getting more input and access through publications in magazines, newspapers, blogs, and other research domains. A project that Mehek and I are currently working on. Diversifying social media plans and interactions, say using expert tweets and current needs or events and public meetings, Instagram to get the youth and enter into mainstream discussions, and LinkedIn as a professional repository of all activities. Another key initiative would be to introduce the e-learning modules as part of university climate change awareness curriculums and promoting small achievable goals and actions that can be implemented by students in schools and universities. To talk about the impact of utilizing UDA framework in community building, let us look at the following pointers. First, being strengthened maritime security, that would A, enable real-time underwater surveillance, B, support interagency coordination and a faster response to maritime incidents, C, enhance India's strategic posture in the Indian Ocean region. The second being environmental protection, that would A, promote acoustic monitoring to track marine pollution, habitat degradation, and species migration, B, help mitigate the impacts of shipping noise and offshore drilling on marine ecosystems. The third pointer being sustainable fisheries and blue economy. This would improve fishing population tracking and check illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. B, support aquaculture and marine biotechnology through precise underwater data. Fourth pointer being disaster preparedness, that would enable early warning systems for underwater earthquakes, tsunamis, and cyclones. B, strengthen coastal resilience through better evacuation planning and infrastructure design. The fifth and last point being diplomatic and regional cooperation that would A, build trust through data sharing and joint research with neighboring countries. B, position India as a responsible maritime leader in the Indo-Pacific strategic space. And to talk about the public access, that these impacts would further serve as fuel to arenas of public access that would undertake A, capacity building, that would establish centers of excellence for the UDA, research, skilling, and innovation. Second, promote academic programs in underwater acoustics, marine robotics, and ocean policy. Three, would involve community engagement through the launching of awareness campaigns targeting coastal communities, youth, and policymakers, and encouraging citizen science, local participation in marine data collection. The fourth being policy integration, which would embed UDA into national maritime strategies, blue economy plans, and disaster management frameworks. For example, making it a part of the NDCs and the SDGs and to keep a track of achievable goals. An article on the same is also available on MRC's website, as I've included the scan code and the template for it. It would also help to align with international conventions like the UNCLOS and collaborate through platforms like the IORA. Last, I would like to end my presentation by mentioning that community building does not just involve communication, it involves transformation through collective team effort. By engaging communities, we unlock the full potential of the UDA framework and pave the way for a secure, sustainable maritime future. Thank you so much for your time and understanding.